I can do it all is actually a limiting belief.
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
it's crazy how that works. No, it's really good. I think, something that there's I forget what it's called, but it's a handbook for how to deal with the devil or something like that. I don't know if you know yes, I know you do the story of Jesus in the desert for 40
Yeah.
days,
Tim.
um, being tempted
Yeah.
by the devil. And there's a guy, a monk from, I don't know, the 10th century or something like that, went out into Egypt and, you know, was tempted by the devil, basically did the same
True.
exercise as Jesus. And he wrote down all the lies that he faced out there. And then he, like, I'm not a good husband, or even lies like, oh, I deserve a better wife, or, things, whatever it was that he was going through in his life and that he was being tempted with. And then he created a handbook for himself of how to
To
combat
rebut
those
them.
lies. And he used scripture to like reinforce like truth in his life and stuff like that. And I think in many ways it would be very productive as a business owner to have a handbook to deal with some of this head trash, you know?
Well,
Um,
the first thing, and it's not easy, and I know we've talked about it before, but the first thing is to recognize your head trash. It's to recognize it.
yeah.
And as we've said before, 95% of what we do is in our subconscious, and we don't even realize
Hmm.
we're controlling ourselves with our subconscious beliefs and thoughts. If you can make them visible, such as millennials don't like to work. Well, is that true? Hell no, it's not true. There's some knuckleheads out there that are getting a lot of press, but there are a lot of millennials that work their tails off,
Yeah.
right? And so you go, well, maybe we can. And if you have that
Yeah.
positive attitude and you're talking to a millennial, you might be able to hire somebody.
Yeah. Absolutely. It with this hand, like with lies in general, they are deceptive ideas that play to disordered desires in a normalized society. So, for example, millennials just don't want to work. That is a deceptive idea, but it's playing to my disordered desire of, oh, well, now I have an excuse now
Right.
that I don't have to go and find someone, or, and that idea is then normalized. Everyone else is saying it. And so you believe it. And now you're in this place where you don't believe anybody's going to work, and there's nothing you can do to solve it, you
There's a
know?
whole lot of normalized beliefs right now that aren't true, just
Oh yeah.
in my opinion.
Oh yeah. Everywhere. They're all around you. And that's why it's important to know truth, to have an objective truth. It goes back to rules are all around us, right? You gotta pay your bills on time. You gotta follow the speed limit. You gotta park in certain spots. There's rules that you know most people want to follow in life, and they do just because it's a rule. We're taught that you follow the rules. But why not create rules in your life for yourself to follow? Like, how can we leverage that behavior of, oh, we follow rules, or I like to follow the rules, or I want to follow the rules? Okay, well then why not create rules for yourself? And I heard a really good one recently that I would love to implement, but it's very difficult when you run a remote company. Never said This guy made a rule that he never says yes on a phone call to someone pitching him something, to someone asking him for a favor. He never says yes on the phone. He only says yes in person.
Huh.
And so if somebody pitches him, said, I want to think about that a little bit. Why don't we have a meeting about it? And what that does is it keeps his to-do list much more focused and less at the whim of whoever's giving him a phone call. But it also gives him time to think and to really make a good decision, a wise and discerning decision,
So I'm going to
whenever he's in
start
front of somebody.
talking to vendors in Paris because that way I can get a trip to France before I say yes. Hey, it's a good idea.